So here are some videos that I have made using Pixverse, and I've only been using it, I think maybe 3 or 4 days. But you can use image to video. You can upload an image, which is what I did in this first one. And then what I did for the second one is I took the prompts I used for the first one, and then I just plugged them into this. And so it still looks pretty similar. So those of us that have been using AI for a while will be able to pick this up right away. And I'm already getting just great results. So for the most part, what I've been doing is I've just been kind of testing prompts. My goal wasn't really to make the absolute coolest thing possible, but that's what I'm starting on now, just kind of trying to fine tune the prompts. And also I've learned how to kind of edit them after the end to get rid of things using the negative prompt. So I really can't
Hold
wait
it.
to get
Stop
it.
this video right now. I do not want people making AI videos of me. Some YouTuber with the ridiculous name of Prophet of the Singularity used AI to make this video. Then he cloned my voice. This is absolutely the worst movie I have ever been in. Goodbye.
Okay, I absolutely AI Nicolas Cage. I will not cast you in any more of my videos. I'm sorry about that. In all seriousness, though, I am not gonna like be using this to do celebrities and stuff just because of all the worries about deepfake. So I'm just going to kind of open it up and just kind of demo the settings and how to tweak certain things. There's also 3 different styles, but I'm only using the realistic one. I think that one's the best, but I'll get into that in the next section. So I'll go ahead and load up the page now and kind of show you how I use the preferences. Now there are still some flaws, like you can get a lot of morphing, especially with people, movements, things like that. But let's not forget it wasn't too long ago when AI people would look like this. Okay, and here we are on the page. As you see, I do have some videos saved already. I've saved a few of them. I've made a lot of them. I've only been using this I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 days, but it's really great. I really have been having a lot of fun using this. So let's just go ahead and dive right in here, and then I'll show you what I've learned, some of the tricks I've learned, and what can help you here. Now, when we create here, we have 2 options. We have text, which we're all kind of familiar with, making our prompts. And then we have image, so we can add an image and make a video out of just a still image. Now, let's go ahead and start with the text to prompt actually, and I'll kind of do the image at the end. I actually prefer the text to prompt. For one thing, we can take prompts that we already know, like this video here that I made. This is actually, I'll go ahead and insert the image later in post edit, but this is a prompt I used that I got a pretty realistic image from before AI, and you can see it makes a very kind of cool realistic video. They don't always turn out like that, and sometimes you have to run them a couple times. You might get some bad ones, but I'll show you how to kind of correct some of those as well. But let's just go ahead and let me kind of show you first the 3 models. Now, I have been sticking to realistic. I think it's the best. You can get some decent results from the anime too. The 3D animation I found only works if you're kind of using like kind of cartoonish prompts, like things that are already animated. It doesn't work for realistic images. And actually, I could show you here with this one. And this is another great feature. It will keep the seed for you if you hit go create. It's going to keep that seed and put it there. So it's going to make the exact same image if I pick the same model, but I'm going to go ahead and do this in 3D animation. Okay, and it's finished up here, and let's go ahead and click on it. So you can see that we get this really kind of blurry, not a very good video, and I found this is kind of the result. Anytime I try to use something realistic with this one, like I said, you can get some decent results if you like put in a cartoon type of animation. Like, let me just try something like this with it, and I'll show you. I'll just do a Bugs Bunny cartoon. So this is trained on video. That's what makes this different than our previous AI models, is that I think this is trained on actual video. And I found that by typing in old shows like the Munsters, Bugs Bunny, stuff like that. It'll recognize just real simple prompts. You can actually come up with really good videos with really simple prompts with this too. You don't need to get too crazy with the prompts, but I'll go ahead and let this finish and then we will come back. Okay, we are back, and you see I can tell already that we get a much better looking video there with that prompt, a Bugs Bunny cartoon. So I think any kind of cartoon used will turn out better in this one. Like I said, I haven't used this one a whole lot, and I've only been using this like I said, probably 5 days or so at the most. So I've still got a lot of exploring to do, and it does only make 4-second videos. So I hope that when this gets released, I would love to see some longer videos and kind of see how it goes on. This is going to be really fun. This year is going to be great. This is really the dream all of us have been waiting for. Turn our text, all these texts that we've come up with, these prompts and figured out how to do, turn them into actual coherent videos. So this is great. So let me go into the next one here, the anime. And this one you can get kind of decent results. What I'm going to do actually, just going to use the same prompt again. We're going to go ahead and we'll just create it in the anime model. And again, I'm just going to keep it the same seed and everything. Then we can kind of get a comparison here. And we'll come back when this is done. Okay, and we are back. And let's go check our anime one. Like I said, I have got some good results with the anime one. And this one's kind of cool. I like the shadow there, and it does give a really good anime look. So once I start, like what I've been doing is just kind of experimenting. I'm not trying to make super cool videos yet. What I went right into is just looking at how the prompts work, especially compared to the old prompt styles work. So I haven't done a lot in anime, but most of the time I get pretty decent results when I switch over. But again, my favorite is still the realistic. So let's go ahead one more time. I'm just going to go ahead and now when you do that, so if I just run it right now, it'll pretty much just be a duplicate of this. So what I'm going to do is just do this and just change the seed. Now you can also actually, I don't even need to do that. Once you get a prompt that you like, you can just go here and hit retry instead of go create. Go create will save all your settings. Retry will, I believe it'll just change the seed. So I'm just going to hit retry and now it's going to start creating it, but with a different seed. So once you got your prompt down where you like it and you've got kind of a cool video, you can just hit retry a few times and it'll change it up. And what's really cool too is this site actually lets you generate 4 creations at once. So while that's generating, we can go over here to my collection again. Let's go back here and I'll show you a couple other tricks here. Now, both of these here were made from images, so I'll get to those in a minute. Let me kind of show you how we can change some prompts here. So this one, if you notice, it's a pretty nice scene. This was just generated with a prompt, but there's not much action going on. This could just be a still AI image with a pan left or pan right. So while this is really cool though, because this can just make our images instantly into videos. We don't have to edit or anything, and we can just string some together. So let me show you what I think here is a really powerful prompt to add if you get this and you want some more action. And I just figured this one out, I think, yesterday or the day before. Anyways, I'm just going to hit go create. And everything here I'm going to keep the same. Like I said, it copies all your settings, it copies your aspect ratio, and I'm going to put this in here. The secret word here is time lapse because like I said, this is made with video. So when you put time lapse, it will usually drastically change it and give you a lot more motion and stuff. So now I'm going to keep the same seed too. Everything's same just to show you the effects of the time lapse modifier there. And we'll go ahead and check on it when it's done. And hopefully this one will be done too. Okay, and our other videos here is done. So I'm just going to click on this here. And it looks like we got kind of a different perspective there. And it doesn't look as good as the other one, but it's still, this is just like the AI though. You just do, you do some different generations and sometimes you'll get some good ones, sometimes not so good. Now let's go look here. It does look like this is done. This is the video that I just added time lapse to at the end. And we can see now we do got some motion. It's a little bit off there, the perspective, but you know what? Just do it again. Just do it again. And eventually we'll get some good videos there. So that's just a prompt to add. Let's go ahead and let me see. Here's another one. So this is another one where not much is happening. This actually is a real old prompt I used for my disco diffusion days. I just wanted to take some of my real old prompts and kind of see how they would translate. Let me go ahead and modify this. And I used to use Thomas Kincaid and Geiger a lot because in the old days, the disco, Thomas Kincaid would always give you a lot of lights in the image, and Geiger would always give you a lot of shadow and detail. So let's go ahead and so I'm going to hit go create so I can change it. If you hit retry, again, it's just going to change the seed. So let's go modify this a bit. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and take the artists out for this, and I'm just going to put in time lapse. Okay, and here's another video, one of those still ones that I just added time lapse to. And you can see we got a lot of motion now. That's the idea, time lapse, and it doesn't look real good, but that's all right. I just wanted to kind of show you how that time lapse modifier can work. So that'll be a good modifier to use every once in a while. And like I said, you can just regenerate it, and then you'll get some clear. This doesn't really take that long to generate either. These take about a minute. But let's go ahead now and move on to something else. Let me see here. Let's go ahead and let me just show you a couple of these and a couple of the issues you might get. So this is another thing with still images. This is a still image I uploaded, and a lot of times it'll just kind of pan around. Like this one, I actually use panorama, dolly camera left, rotating around pyramid. So it does recognize things like zoom in, zoom out, things like that. It does seem to work a lot better with the prompts than the still images. So let's go back to the prompts for a bit. Another one I did that there's not a lot of movement, but this would be a real great like intro to a scene or something. And it's only a few seconds. You know, something else I'm going to do later is take the very last frame of this and then maybe bring it in as a starting image and see if we can kind of make something really long and continuous that way. But this is a great tool. I'm just having a lot of fun, even though these videos are short. You know, we can still make memes, make commercials, make trailers, music videos. And here's another one where I have some people marching. And that one looks a little more animated than some of them, not quite as realistic. And then here's one where I have a pretty long detailed prompt. And you can see she's moving, but not a lot. But you can still use all your AI prompts that are good. This is another one I used. And I kind of like that the panorama behind her is moving. So you can get some pretty cool scenes here even. And this was the still image that I hit time lapse on to make it move. So what I'm doing right now, what I've been doing really for the last few days, is kind of just testing my regular prompts on the Pixverse. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this here, and we're just going to go ahead and put this in exactly as is, and then we'll start using negative prompts to kind of fix it up. And some of the stuff too I'm removing. It just depends on how it turns out. I have deleted a lot of videos. I've made a lot more than I have on there, but I just kind of want to keep it clean. You know, they're giving us this free thing, so I don't want it cluttered up with a bunch of stuff anyway. So let's go ahead now and create this. And again, I'm using the realistic model. And then I'm going to do something else here. Something I haven't shown yet is this inspiring prompt. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this works. What it is supposed to do is change your prompt and make two videos. And I have had it work. I've actually had it work really good. I'll get into that here in a minute. But sometimes when I use this, it just makes two videos and doesn't change the prompt at all. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on now, and we'll see if it changes it for this. I think it has a better chance of working the longer your prompt is, but not always. So I'm not sure. I also do have a little bit of kind of weird things in this prompt. We'll just kind of clean it up a bit. Okay, and that actually finished up pretty fast. It was only a minute, made all three of them great. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this first one. This one was just my first prompt there. And actually, I like that a lot. Like you can see too in my original picture that the faces were not very good because of my prompt, so I didn't really do anything negative there. But this actually doesn't look bad. Their faces are all kind of dark. They don't have bad features anyway. And you know, anything organic, we are still going to kind of go through those this early phase of it not really rendering stuff great. But that actually looks decent. That you could pop in a Western video, no problem, I think. Absolutely. Okay, let's go and look at the other ones. Let's see here. I was just kind of looking at that. Let's see if it changed it. It did actually. So if you'll notice, and this is also a great way to kind of see how they design the prompts and how they work. So it looks like, no, it didn't. Okay, and let's look at the other one, see if it changed it. I changed it myself a little bit. I took out the brackets and it doesn't look like it did. And we got that guy riding the horse backwards. And we still got kind of a problem with the face. But if you've seen my original prompt, it wasn't a very good prompt for the face. It had kind of blurry faces too, so that's just kind of translating over. So let's try to fix this. Let's go ahead now, and I'm going to go hit retry on this here, and we're going to try to fix this. And again, we can just, you know, run it over and over again and kind of fix it that way. But I'm going to go and put in some negative prompts here. So we're going to put backwards horse riding, blurry faces. I'm just going to do that for starters. and we'll see how this works. Like I said, I've actually been pretty impressed with how good the negative prompts are kind of working in this. And I still got a long ways to go to learn this, but I will get there. All right, and let's go look at our cleaned up version here. And if you see, I just did the prompt backwards, horse riding, blurry faces. And we still don't got the greatest of faces. It doesn't look like our other one, but it definitely did get rid of the backwards horse riding. All their horses are now facing forward. So it is a pretty, the negative prompt actually does work pretty good here. And so that's kind of been my method. I just make the video first, and then whatever's in the video, I'll just go in, hit go create, and just put a negative prompt in there for that specific video with that specific seed. And that seems to be a pretty good kind of quick hack method here. Where this really shines is animated stuff like so water it does great with water, fire. Think of those kind of things now when we're making prompts. So what I've been doing also is looking through a lot of my old prompts and looking for stuff that I already did with water. Like on this prompt here gave me a great looking wave and sunset. So I'm just going to copy this directly over. And I had little clips of this in the beginning of the video. I did this both ways actually. I used this as a starting image and made a video, and then I also copied the prompt over, and they both turned out really good. So anything with water usually turns out pretty good. Let's go ahead and try this one. Okay, so let's go ahead now. I'm going to go ahead and just put the prompt in there as is. I don't think I changed it much. And let's see. I'm going to get rid of just the painting on the end there. I'll just get rid of the matte painting. I don't think I changed it all in the other one, but let's go ahead now and just run this. I'll just flip the seat a little bit. All right, let's go see how the prompt comes out. Okay, and our video is done. I can tell already it's going to look kind of weird, but that's all right. We can just do it again. Let's go ahead and look at it. Wow, beautiful sky and stuff though. And oh, cool, we even got a little surf there, but that's kind of unrealistic. Let's go ahead now, and this is something I'm still doing. Like I said, I've only been using this a few days. Let me try to I've just been doing kind of generic stuff in here too, like this, like unrealistic. What I'm not gonna put wave in there. I'm just put unrealistic. Well, yeah, I'll put wave, unrealistic physics, and see how this one does. I've used unrealistic physics a bit, and that does work sometimes. Sometimes with the wave, it might go overboard and take out the wave entirely. But let's go ahead and leave it on the same seed and everything and just see how this negative prompt works on the video. Remember, this is a whole new thing now with video, and I consider this kind of training right now for once we get the models that we can generate, minute-long videos and stuff. And I'm really excited about this. I keep saying it, but this is what we've all been waiting for, right? Okay, and for this next part, I'm using the inspiring prompt to dual clips. And what that is, take your prompt and then kind of modify it into two different prompts. It doesn't always work. Okay, and I found one that did work. What I did was just put one of my ridiculously long ones. So maybe that's the key. So here's the original prompt. See, it starts with dolphin jumping in and out of the ocean. And then we got that one for this one. And this one, the prompt is the camera zooms in, looking down on the characters, girl Emma. I noticed that too. In a lot of them, it'll put like a person's name. So I think that might have a lot of effect too. Okay, you can see there's a filter in place too where it'll cut stuff out. And this was actually the prompt that it split them up into. You just get those once in a while. But what this is really good for to look at its prompts is it kind of gives us an idea on how we should kind of alter our prompts from the old AI models to this model. So, okay, and I'm going to do some image to video now. Some kinds of images work a lot better than others. So I'm going to start with this one, and I'm just going to leave everything at default. So let's go ahead and run this. Okay, and it's done. And for this image, there's not a lot going on. Like even if you were there, nothing would really be moving much unless wind was blowing. So a lot of these ones you get where it's kind of a landscape or a scene in the background, it'll just kind of do camera movements for the most part because there's nothing in there really moving. So this is also good though if you want to just do an intro scene to something. So this is cool too. All these things have their uses. Okay, and here's a starting image I'm going to use. So when you do waves and oceans though, you want to kind of have it to where the waves aren't breaking all the way or I mean partially breaking and you can still see the back. You want them all to have foam on them or it'll do weird stuff. So this one should be a really good one for this. And you can also, I hardly ever enter prompts. You can, and I'll do that here in the next one. But you can just put it in there and run it. And a lot of times you'll get real good results depending on what it is. And sometimes you might get a bad result the first time, just run it again. So this one should turn out pretty good, I'm predicting. I'll come back in a minute and we'll see. Okay, and this is done. Oh yeah, it turned out great. So you want to get waves again where you can kind of just see the crest of them. You don't want a big blue wall that's like or partially break. Sometimes the blue wall just kind of stay there. So you want it like right on the crest. You want most of them. Yeah, that turned out good. And that was just the very first time. So with people, they'll turn out okay sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't do much. But let me go ahead and show you one that almost always does good, or you can get some good ones, which is kind of just a silhouette flat thing. So let me go ahead and load this. Okay, and this is my starting image. It's just a couple of silhouettes, and I ran it with the strength low, high, and normal. So let's go look at these, and we can also kind of see what the strength does, and it does what you'd expect to. It just adds more motion. So this is the default, and you get a little bit of movement there, not a lot, but enough to kind of tell they're doing something. So let's go look at the other one. That one was 0.55. I don't know if I remember to change the seeds too, but okay. So this is one with it kind of low, and they're not really doing anything. We got a little bit of camera movement. And then this one's on high, and they're doing more, but it also doesn't look quite as clean. So you kind of can balance that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do another one. And let's go ahead and do this cat here. Okay, and I'm just going to put everything on default again. Okay, and these are done. And we're getting a bit of head turn movement there. And then this is the HD version. Doesn't move quite as much, has a different C though too, but you can see it looks a lot better in detail. Okay, I'm going to do one more here. I'm going to go ahead and upload. Okay, and I'm going to do one more here. So this one should be pretty good for a start image. The reason why I think that the prompts work better is because when you're using a start image, it has to analyze it, like look for movement and make sure everything is something that it recognizes. So this one should be pretty good. But what I'm going to do is do one with just a picture, and then I'll go back and do one with the same prompt that made the picture, and we'll compare them. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to take this out. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it. And that did really good actually for just using the starting image. These guys aren't moving, but you can see it recognizes that the camels are supposed to walk forward, put one leg after the other. So this really shows you how this is different because this is trained on videos. Okay, so here's the prompt I used to make it. So I'm just going to copy it, and we'll just go back over here and plug it in. Okay, it's done, and let's go check it out. All right, so you see we do have like kind of a lot more organized movement. Okay, and so you can see we have a lot more organized movement because it knows exactly what to do from our prompt. With the picture, it kind of has to estimate. So for the most part, texts are still turning out better. So if you have something you didn't make an AI, like a photo or something, then you can use the image to video, and that works really good too. So anyway, this about wraps it up. And for the future of this channel, I'm going to start doing kind of complete workflows using a lot of different AI tools and show each and every step I do along the way. I'm actually working on a short video right now too with this and with Sad Talker and a couple other things. I've also got like a morphing program, which I gave a tutorial on a long time ago. I think it's called Squirrels Morph. And what you can do with that is turn one, like the last frame of one movie and have it warp into something else. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to be really active on this channel and try my best to never have any kind of a lapse again like I did. Thank you all for watching, and I will be back extremely shortly. I hope to have this next little kind of demo done within the next few days.